Welcome to the Divine Play Podcast,
a practical guide to living with joy. Yes.
I love every second of this.
No, hell yes, right. Like sometimes you have to bear the pink bra.
Absolutely.
It looks like I'm bearing my naked breast, but they are not. There, it is a pink bra. It is there.
We're bringing the pink through. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah, no, like as I said, like no nipples were harmed in the making of this podcast episode.
Absolutely. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we cleared that up because for a second I was like,
Well, in case you're wondering what the hell you're listening to right now, it is still me, Mirilena, and that is still Shannon. And this is still the Divine Play Podcast, a practical guide to living with joy. However, this is the holiday edition. So put your seatbelt on, hold on tightly to your turkey. There's no telling what will happen because it's real shit time.
It is.
Isn't that what the holidays are about? That's what the holidays are about. It's real shit time. Shit gets real at the holidays.
Shit does get real. So many things come out of the closed doors. Like really, like behind this door is.
And hopefully it's just not like when I was married to my ex-husband and like we were was it Christmas or it was Thanksgiving and like he got this look for me when the N-word got dropped casually in conversation by his father. And then within the hour it got dropped again. And I was like, sorry, what is happening right now?
Like, what universe were you playing in?
Yeah. So like on the bright side, my new in-laws, they're very vanilla. They're very calm. They're very loving people. You know? Like they're very chill. There's no racism there. You know, it's just
like the warm fuzzy that you've been waiting for.
Well, I haven't
like
spent a holiday with
Christmas
them yet.
Blanket.
Yeah, but I haven't spent a holiday with them yet. But they did come to our wedding, and they were all incredibly lovely people. There was no drama. It was beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. I was like thinking back because like you're like fresh out. You haven't experienced a holiday with your in-laws yet?
No, we got married in April.
I know, but like,
and I'm like, but I'm in the family Marco Polo.
Let's be real.
It's real talk, okay? Like these people, they are deeply loving people. They are also, they're all very, they're Mormon. So like, there's no nastiness in this family. Like they're just so good. They're so good. Like, they're so good. Like they're all so kind and like loving, and they all garden like bosses. And like it's like
garden is clearly you said garden, right?
Garden, yes, they are all incredible gardeners. Like you should see the gardens they've built. They're like something off of HGTV. It's wild pants. Like they're incredible. Like they're very self-sufficient. They're very like they're all incredible gardeners. I know this seems like a weird thing to be like floored by with my new in-laws, but they're amazing and they are all so loving. I have to say they're all really loving. And I think they would be really, really loving and amazing gardeners without being Mormon. But I feel like the intense Mormonism in the family like just speaks to their like wholesomeness. Like they're just wholesome. They're just like wholesome people. Like they're kind.
That is amazing. Well, I can't wait to like have another riff session with you after your first holiday with these amazing humans.
I might be like they're all secretly psychos. They're not. Really, my mother-in-law is the sweetest human being I've ever met. She's so kind. She's so kind, and she's so loving. Like she's amazing.
Secretly, I think you're trying to get a really good Christmas present here. Like,
you know,
is this what this is?
She didn't pull my name for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot. Okay. Well, I was like trying to get to the bottom of what was underneath. All these amazing accolades that you're like putting out.
How are your in-laws? Maybe this is maybe this is like you don't ask about politics, religion, or your in-laws like on the podcast. How are your in-laws?
Things that normal podcasts do not bring up. And then there's us that are like, let's just talk about all of it. Let's just talk about all of it. No, I love my in-laws.
I thought I remembered that.
We have a beautiful, blended, amazing humans, and they're so different. They're so different. Every single set of them is different humans, and I love that. I love that we have a conglomerate of like, I rode a horse to Thanksgiving dinner, to like, I'm casually going to.
Back up. You rode a horse to Thanksgiving dinner. Like, you put a saddle on a large horse. I'm pretty sure
that one set of my in-laws, like my father-in-law, probably just like rode a horse up to the house, put it in the barn, and then went and eat turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure that's going to be his day. I think that's absolutely beautiful. And then there's like mine where we have like a 7-course meal, and I can't even put all the food on one plate at my mom's house. And she's an expert gardener too. And friends, just so you are aware, in real time, I am out loud saying that I really am not a great keep live plants alive kind of person.
Oh, are you a plant killer?
I am. I grew humans. Humans are alive.
Do you kill cactuses?
Yes.
Oh, you even kill cactuses? You can forget about them for months at a time and they still survive.
Which, while we're talking about this, I almost want to jump out in my kitchen and be like, crap, I did not put ice cubes in my orchid flower on Sunday, and it's Tuesday, right?
Oh, yeah, but I have good news for you. It's not great news because your orchid might still die, but did you buy your orchid from like a grocery store or like somewhere where it was pre-potted?
My mother handed this orchid over because she was like, hey, it was going to die. I kind of like rejuvenated. I'm going to pass it to you. And I'm like, okay, if this thing is even mirroring the idea that it might not survive, we shouldn't give it to Shannon.
No, I want to help you feel better about yourself, because I always killed orchids and I thought I was just a shitty orchid mom. Like, I thought I was a terrible orchid mother. And then I was informed by someone that the orchids that you get like at the grocery store or whatever, they are not potted correctly, and they will very often die because of the way they're potted, not because you screwed it up.
Well, this is going to be like, thank you. Thank you so much for this.
Give yourself some grace. It's probably potted wrong. And even if it's not, it's potted wrong if it dies.
It's fine. It was all in the pot. It was the pot's fault. I love it. Okay, on this whole giving yourself grace, because we were just discussing all of the things that you were involved in this last few months, and I know that this comes up for so many people, and I have experienced it myself, and I feel like we just get stressed out. Let's just talk about what it is. Burnout, stress, grief, the doors that are closed that come out when holidays arrive, and we get to have a magnificent time with our family and our friends. And it might not be all joyous and rainbows, but it might be. And that's amazing as well. But we want to we just want to talk about real talk about like maybe burnout, because you might be experiencing that. And
holiday burnout.
I know it is, because you and I have talked about this. Like, let's just, what, like you said not very long ago, Shannon, I think I might be doing too many things.
Facts.
Shannon?
Well,
how'd this feel?
So I had an experience working with a frog medicine called Combo. And Combo handed me my ass. So for those of you who don't know, the Combo frog lives in the jungle, and it secretes a poison that is a nerve toxin, but it's used as a medicine. And it is a purgative, which means it makes you vomit and maybe out the back end. It's a very pleasant experience, Combo, let me tell you. But it's also one of the most powerful experiences I've ever had in my life. And so what Combo taught me and really pointed out to me, it was so incredible, because I came back from this like 3-day inoculation experience with this beautiful facilitator named Jai Ma. And she lives in Costa Rica, and she's so amazing. She like goes into the jungle with love and like gets the poison off the frogs herself. And like, it's such a beautiful thing, but it's interesting, right? Because it's like a purgative, makes you vomit it a lot. And when I came out of the ceremonies, that was like when the real work began, because I came out and I realized how much I needed to purge from my life. Like, I was just like, holy hell, like I am so burnt out. So just to put this in perspective, at the beginning, basically a year ago, New Year's Eve, little over a year ago, a little less than a year ago, less than a year ago. I can't keep track. See, this is what
less than a year ago, because it's not New Year. Yep.
Yeah, I get it. I caught up to that. I caught up to myself. So almost a year ago, about 11 months ago, I decided to take an intensive breathwork studies program called the Anatomy of Awakening with Michael Brian Baker from the Breath Center. And I will tell you guys, if you're looking to study breathwork, this is the program to do it in. It was really intensive. It was so much more than breathwork, and it was really intensive. It was supposed to be 6 months. It started in March. It ended up being 8 months. And I still have to take my exam, which is going to require me to go through all of my course material. And then while I was in that program, I felt the call to study energy medicine and shamanic arts more deeply. And Michael referred me to the Four Winds Society to study with Alberto Villoldo, which is a 6-month program that is super intensive, like rocking my world intensive. And I'm still in that. And then in the midst of all of this, I have a part-time gig where I work 2 days a week. Even though I get to kind of make my own schedule, it's still 2 days a week, right? And then I have my private hands-on energy work and body work practice. And that is 3 to 4 days a week, depending on how I do my schedule. And then I have my coaching practice, which I was running a program until just a couple months ago. And that was every 2 weeks, like 2 hours, but then like all the prep for it. And then I run educational courses, which I've been like building and stuff. And then the podcast. I was like, oh, you know what I should do? A podcast. It's like, that's a great idea. And like, I think I've actually been in burnout for 2 years, but I didn't actually realize it. Like straight up, like I had convinced myself that I was like good, because everything that I was doing was in small enough chunks, right? My part-time gig, it's only 2 days a week. I can make my own hours. That's easy, right? Oh, the podcast, it's just us getting together, and doing some recording. Oh, the coaching, that's only one night a week, every 2 weeks, right? For 2 hours. Like I can handle 2 hours, but like, holy macaroni, the burnout was so real. And I came out of that combo weekend and it just like smacked me in the face. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I've been in the process of like cutting stuff out, and I'm in operation, like pay off all my educational courses that I decided to take this year, because it was an investment, and I'm in operation pay that shit off so I can quit my part-time gig. And then I'm just saying no to social engagements. I'm saying no to going places. I haven't been like, I've let myself get behind in school because like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not pass or fail. I can catch up on it later. I'm taking care of the things I need to do, but like combo, like smashed me in the face with my burnout. Hard. It was a smickety smack smack. It was like, girl, pay attention. And it's been awesome. But like the burnout was real. Sorry, that was a very long, this is how an ADHDer tells their story. You're welcome.
I love your story. I love your story because I got the visual of it. And I think it happens. What I heard you say though, Mirilena, is really, really key here, is that we think, first of all, there's 24 hours in everybody's day, right? And, but we look at it like, oh, this is only 2 hours of this day. This is only 1 hour. This editing will only be this much. Oh, I can do this later or after, whatever. But we still have life. We still have the present living, and you have a husband
Cooking for myself, my animals.
Yeah.
Downtime. Oh, hey, do you remember downtime?
What was that?
We need downtime. So that was the big thing for like the last year. My husband has been like, I'm so worried about you. Like you're always going, you're always doing something. And I remember being like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like everything is super chill. And then like, I realized that every single week I was like looking at my husband and saying, how did I do this to myself again? How do I have no free nights this week? It was like every single night of the week I was doing something. And then I was working during the day. And it was like, how did I do this to myself again?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like creeps in there. I feel like I feel like there is this strong boundary of it's really hard to say no.
But it was saying no to myself. It wasn't even other people's shit. I think that's the most insidious part, is it was like all shit that I wanted to do for myself that I was like super excited about. Right. Mm-hmm. So like another coaching program or doing this thing or doing this podcast even. Right. And it was like all shit I wanted to do for myself that I couldn't say no to. And so when I came out of combo, and I had this like epiphany, I just started taking an extra day off every week and not filling it with anything. Because that was my problem.
You didn't fill a day? Zero?
No, nothing. The only things I would fill it in with were like a massage or getting my hair cut or like going to the DMV to get my driver's license or like some shit that I had not had time to do in like 2 months, which by the way, never got my driver's license. Like, I'm still like the piece of paper. I need to go to the DMV or just order a replacement driver's license. I never got it in the mail. So I'm currently illegally driving.
There is a current, like I actually had to deal with this with my my eldest child. And there is a thing on the bottom of that white piece of paper that says, call this number if you don't get your driver's license.
What? Hold on. It's right here. Where did it go? Shut the front door.
There is. You get to call a number. Otherwise it expires and you have to redo the whole entire process.
Customers who did not present all required. Okay. It says I got
no pressure.
Everything.
And it's really easy to do. It's totally fixable.
I think what I'm gonna just do is I'm just gonna go to the website and say I lost it. I'm gonna lie.
You know this is like recorded, right?
Is the CIA watching?
Yeah. I mean,
they're not gonna send me to jail for saying I lost.
You might want to take this part out of it. I'm just saying. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, so
I don't think they're coming to lock me up. I think it's fine.
Burnout is real. Squirrel moments are real, and it's super easy to get involved in this. I don't have any extra time to breathe or make food, and I've been there too. And we wanted to bring you this conversation because it is the week of Thanksgiving, right? And I feel like we don't normally do all of this doing. All of this creating time for, all this inviting, all of the parties, all of the...
Speak for yourself. Sugar. I was doing all the fucking doing for 2 years. Now I'm like, fuck it. I'm not coming to your Thanksgiving party. Sorry, not sorry. That's how I feel right now. Sorry. Back to our regular program.
Okay, some of us add all of this to the end of the year and...
I'm like hermitizing.
So funny. Oh my God. So I love this. I love this because it's raw and real and you're hilarious. I love your like squirrel. Funny. You're like, how did I even know? How did I even do this to myself again? Who raise your hand if you're like, same. Mirilena, same. How did I freaking add 4 programs, 3 trainings, 7 days of work a week?
Amen, sister. But no, I think it is true. I think this is like straight up the time of year where people are making like a million commitments and people don't want to say no, right? It's like people don't want to say no. You want to go to the party, you want to go to the you want to go to the happy hour. You want to go to somebody's special gathering that they put all this effort into, and you don't want to be like the a-hole who doesn't go. And what if it was okay to say no? You know, like, what if it's okay to say no? What if you don't have to go to all the parties? Like, how would that change things? You know?
This is so interesting you say this, because I'm doing a challenge right now. And it is about relationships, and mostly the relationship with yourself. And last night we talked about, which just came to me, is maybe you choose what party's going to elevate your energy and what is like an energy suck. Because we talked about our relationship inventory last night, and like whose table you're sitting at, and is it like a relationship like drain? Because we've experienced that, right? You've been on Zoom, you've been in class, you felt humans on the other side, doing what you do in the coaching realm. Like you feel you're put all this out there, but you really we get to take care of us first so that our cup is overflowing and we give the overflow to somebody else. We don't give the cup, right? We had this conversation. We share the overflow, not the...
I literally just
Not
had
the
this
cup.
conversation with a friend of mine, like right before we hopped on this call. Like, same thing. You have to shut off the valve. You have to shut off the valve, like where you're leaking to shit that is like not feeding you. Like, you have to shut off the valve so you can redirect that steam in a different direction.
Absolutely. Like, it's like we talked about last night, like, is like, okay, have you ever done like a financial, which like a year ago, I was in this financial account, like an abundance like challenge. And we got to look at all the leaks, all the energy leaks in our finances. So the first thing we did was look at our subscriptions, like our Apple subscriptions. And I was like, first of all, I was like, holy shit.
You're like that commercial. It's like all over TikTok right now. He's like, bro, you're spending $273 on subscriptions right now. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm just paying for Netflix. And he's like, nah, dude.
3 of them. You're paying for 3 of them because there's that app or whatever. Absolutely. I found $350 of subscriptions I didn't need.
No.
That I wasn't using.
Girl.
So what the point of this, me sharing this authentic, vulnerable conversation, I obviously canceled all of them that I didn't need. But like, what are we subscribing to? Maybe we like...
That slaps. What am I subscribing to energetically? That feels like a punch to the gut. Ooh.
Or is it a really good boundary?
No, it's so good, but I feel
it's so good. It hurts my gut.
It's so good. It hurts my soul.
I feel like you're getting abs right now.
I feel it. Ooh. I am. This is good. I'll look great by Christmas.
Right? All these boundaries we're creating and the gut wrenching, like, I said no.
Yeah.
What if it was like that? What if we just chose? What if it was like a real thing and we got to choose what we were subscribing to, whose energy we were going to be around, what table we were going to sit at because it was healthy or unhealthy, right? What if we just choose healthy, elevated, expansion?
I have a bonus to this one. And what if you didn't have to explain it or justify it to anybody? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it. And stop fucking talking.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be. Sorry, I'm having this hair, like there's a hair in my eyelash somewhere. Anyway, I think this has happened one other time. I don't think you should have to, but why do we? I think we just continue because it's uncomfortable, so we just keep talking.
Well, no, and I think people feel like they have to. I think they have to be like, oh, I can't make it because I have to go to this other thing, or oh, I can't make it. Like, I see it all the time. There are a few women's groups I'm a part of on Facebook, and like people are always like, oh, I'm having this thing and my in-laws plan this thing and it's like all day on Thanksgiving, and like it's like they're expecting us to be a part of it, but we have other commitments, and like, how do I explain to them that I just think it was rude? I was like, well, first of all, you don't have to tell them you think it's rude. Number one, like, if you're looking to avoid conflict, you don't have to seek the conflict out. Number one, stop volunteering for the conflict. Like, you don't have to tell them you think it's rude. You just have to say, oh, I'm so sorry. We can't be there for the whole day. We'll be there till 3. Thanks for inviting us. And shut the fuck up. Like, you don't need to like make them see it your way. Number one, you don't need their approval. Their discomfort is not your problem. If they're upset that you can't come, that's theirs to deal with, right? You don't have to justify it or like make it okay for anybody. Like, you just get to say, oh, that's not aligned for me. I'm not going to be there. You know, you don't have to explain that you're too tired and in massive burnout and you're about to have a nervous breakdown.
You could just skip that.
You can skip that part. I skip it all the time.
Oh my gosh. So we're really talking about self-care. Underneath all of this
Yes.
is self-care, right? And it's self-love. You're choosing you. You're choosing you above something else or somebody else. Because the first person you need to think about is who you look in the mirror at, who you see in the mirror. Absolutely. It's you. And so what would you, Mirilena, like, how have you shifted? You said you started saying no to things. You're not adding more things to your calendar. How are you creating a different feeling, a different way of being and showing up for yourself now that you've experienced a slap in the face of burnout?
So, number one, I'm not adding anything new. Like, I'm just not adding anything new. Like, until I get through my program with the 4-1 Society, which I so dearly love, until I make it through that, I'm not doing shit. I'm not signing up for any new courses. I'm not signing up for any new programs. I'm not getting any new certifications, which I tell myself every year, next year, no certifications. And then like 5 certifications later, I'm like, next year, no certifications. But also too, like, I think self-care sometimes is practical and pragmatic. So I've really been focused on Operation Debt Free. So almost all of my debt, right, is like, I would say like 95% of my debt is programs, right? It's I have leveraged debt to get my education like throughout my career, whether it was NLP or whatever it is. And it's worked for me. But with doing these 2 courses back to back, which were sizable financial investments, like, I realized that the payments on the cards that I have used and leveraged to get these programs done, and I'm really grateful for them. So like, I'm not beating myself up for it. But what I did is I had an epiphany where I was like, oh shit, like, I am being held hostage by these payments. I can't quit my part-time job because of these payments. And so I have like a very practical and pragmatic, like, pit bull, right? Like, focus and commitment to holding on to Operation Debt Free so that I can quit this part-time job. And so, you know, and I've had this part-time job since the pandemic because I had to go for practice, and it's like easy money, right? It's easy money. I can take off whenever I want. I can make my own hours. Like, so it's been one of those things where I'm like, ooh, I can't give this up, because it's like, it's anywhere from, you know, $450 to $1,000 extra a month. That's life-changing for most people. Almost all.
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so like, I've got this like just iron focus. Like, I just went on a dance cruise, which was amazing. And that's a whole nother podcast. The epiphanies I had on that.
Right.
But yeah. But basically, like, we were looking at souvenirs and stuff, and we came across this amazing beadwork in Mexico, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and the craftsmanship was beautiful, and it was really beautiful design, and it was like an $80 necklace, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and I loved it. And he kept trying to sell it to me, and he would drop it $5, drop it $10, and he's like, why aren't you going to buy it? And I was like, it's so amazing how your motivation can change your behavior. And I'm so motivated to love myself by getting out of this educational debt so that I can quit my part-time job, that I just looked at him and I was like, I'm in Operation Debt Free. My money has other plans. I was like, I'm trying to quit a part-time job. And he was like, okay. And he shut up. He stopped trying to sell it to me. It was like magic. But like, so I'm really committed to that. And I'm trying to do more nothing.
I love that.
I'm trying to do more nothing. Like, we have a used bookstore here in Chattanooga, which is like bookstore Disneyland. It's called McKay's, and it's like 20,000 square feet of used books. It's amazing.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's amazing. But so we went the other day and I got this Joe Hill book, and oh my God, I'm tearing through it like a mad woman. And I haven't read a book in a really long time. And I'm like in love. I'm loving it. I went to sleep last night at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
That is
And
crazy.
I got up at 5:30 so that I could do yoga and meditate and do breath work before I started my day. And like that feels
Self-care.
really. It's self-care and devotion.
It is.
It's devotion. And so that's kind of the thing, is like I'm looking at all of the things like you said, right? All of the subscriptions that I'm not watching, right? That I'm not using or that aren't doing me any good. I'm cutting them out energetically. And I'm doing it without regret.
Absolutely. And right there, I think there's no regret. And also what I hear, that gentleman who's trying to enroll you in his goodness, his craftsmanship, but it wasn't about whether it was good craftsmanship or a beautiful design. It was, you have a vision, and you're sticking to that vision because you have a dang good why, right? And he understood that. He's creating it for the same thing. He has a vision. And he understood that. You guys were on the same page. It wasn't like my stuff isn't good enough for her. It was, I totally get this. I totally get what you're creating, right? And it is in creation. And I think that I think we get to subscribe. This is such a beautiful just a tagline. It's really like, what are we subscribing to? What is our vision? What is your vision of what you are creating in your life? What is the possibility that you want to create this holiday season going into the new year? Because I feel like when we get to the new year, New Year's resolutions, the first of the year, it's like all this energy, but we're kind of like in an energy suck at the end of it. I mean, I don't know if you resonate, if you feel like this, Mirilena, but or our audience, comment, below this podcast or video and be like, yeah, by December 31st, I'm like melting away in my existence. First of all, because we overextend ourselves. We don't sleep. The fact that you went to bed at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. last night is amazing. I have no idea what time I went to bed. It is getting earlier. I'm not going to say it's my age. I'm thinking it's self-care because I get to get sleep, right? Sleep is a huge motivator for mental health, to have a positive mental health. And but what are we subscribing to? What do you want for your holidays? Not what do you want to get? What do you want to create? What is the vision of how you want your business growth to happen this end of the last quarter? We have 6 weeks left?
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6. Is it 6? Anyway, what do you want to create with your family? Do you want the gift of being present or the gift of being ill and in bed? I really think, because that's been going on around me, everywhere around me. Just like we talked about, you and I have done so much this year, and we've been involved in so much this year, and it's really what I think is expansion. We're creating a craft, we're expanding what we know, and we're learning, and we're being guided by these magnificent people. Like you got referred to this other program because you're like, oh my gosh, I want to dive into this so much. And he knew a human, and that's what this has been about for myself as well. And I was just talking about the speech that I did, right? And so many people had breakdown right before this speech, and it's normal. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is energy. Everything about this is energy, and it's your emotions, and it's what you're creating, and your mind is like, whoa. We can't do this. This is like outside of our comfort zone, and people get sick.
Oh, people get sick. Their cars break down. Like, it's crazy. Like the first breathwork course I took, somebody had major car trouble. Like, they couldn't get there. It is wild. Like the stuff that will come up to be like, I have a woman that I work with, and like it was like 2 intensive sessions in a row. She got the flu the day before. And we were talking the other day, and she's like, oh yeah, that was because my whole system was like, oh no, you can't mess with that.
Yeah. Oh, heck
Like,
yeah.
it's resistance.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely, it's resistance.
powerful.
It is. It
It's
is so powerful.
Yeah.
And what I have learned is, well, friends, I have had so much breakdown this last year, that I have recovering and getting stronger this year because of it. But last year was like the year of me joining programs. And like, so like, I feel like when we had that conversation, I'm like, oh yeah. I took an extra day off last year. I actually took Tuesdays off to do like business stuff or just like be at home and do self-care. And that was when I decided
store.
Yeah. During the day.
You know what I mean?
Not in like the last 5, because mine closes here at 7 p.m.
Well, yeah, you got to go early. Are you sure you don't live in Florida? But I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like that extra day. It's not to like go to the spa. It's like to like cook yourself some food, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, sometimes, you know, do the normal stuff, the normal human stuff, all the things. But then that day gets really full too, right? All the doing. But anyway, so yeah, I just saw the breakdown and I was like, exactly, which is why I am doing this relationship thing, because this relationship challenge and the boot camp is because it gets to be, we get to get aligned in our soul, our emotional self, our physical self, and our spiritual self gets to talk. And I ignored so much last year that my physical self broke down. And then I was halted for 6 months.
Yeah. So you're in a relationship challenge right now, or you're running one?
I'm running one.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So I want to hear about this. So you're running a relationship challenge. How long is it?
It's actually just simply 4 days. Can you believe that? But yeah. So it's 4 days. We kicked off Sunday. It was so cool. It was amazing.
Is that the email I got from you?
Huh? Yes.
That's the email I got from you. Okay. That I like skimmed over because I was burnout. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah. That one. It's okay. It's fine. But yes, it makes sense. Like I created a course called Relationship Bootcamp, but like friends, I'm a relationship builder. I was sitting there last night and I did my strengths and I work with this amazing strengths community, and a woman is my dear friend, Tracy, and she was on there and I was like, friends, we're in a relationship challenge because I am a relationship builder to my core. Like my human being wants to build connections in this world and help people create something magical. That's like why I was put here. And I was like, right, Tracy? Yes. And so it makes complete sense, but it is like a core value in my big program. And so I'm like, we get to like have these little touch points and these remembrances of like where we're spending our energy, because in my experience, there has been a ton of sickness and burnout with the people closest to me. And I know it's because if you were an entrepreneur or a business owner, we're like the last quarter. And I feel like we have all these people like pressures and tax time and all this stuff is like, oh my gosh, we're coming to the end of the year and we haven't accomplished what we wanted to accomplish yet. And then it gets that time gets like going and we keep looking at the calendar and our days are filled up and we're not accomplishing what we wanted to accomplish. And I feel like if we get sidetracked with our vision and like leave that behind, I feel like that's a key point too. Like, I feel like we get to get in touch with our vision and retouch with our vision and figure out who we're being, not what we're doing.